to be free flow.
Okay.
I'm not looking to guide the direction of where we go with the talks and the podcast. I want you to talk about it. I mean, the whole point of today. Welcome, Chronicles of a Broken Mind. I'm Lee.
I'm
This,
Haley.
this is kind of a little origin story of where we are and why we've decided to come to doing Chronicles of a Broken Mind. I install ramps, as some of you know, for the disabled veterans. I've been doing it for 10 years. Haley and I have been together for 10 years, and took her about a year, but she started helping me out with them. She used to run around la 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 la, little Miss Pretty
I've changed.
a lot. But she would never understand how hard the work is. What's taking so long? When are you going to be done? When are you going to be done? And then one day she decided she wanted to help me because, she saw how bad I was sweating outside. And
Then realized how horrible and how hard it is, especially in the weather
it's really,
conditions that we have.
it's a tough job. It's not horrible. It's very difficult in the summertime and in the winter time, and very time demanding. We drive more than we
3
work.
hours.
Yeah, we'll do 400 miles in a day pretty regularly. I mean, I'll fill up my tank in a 35-gallon, truck once a day when I'm out
Yeah.
working. And we've done that for quite a while. It's been nice. It's been wonderful. We've had a great living. Obviously, we've been able to set something up like this, and get the equipment
Do
to do
things
so.
we want to do.
Yep.
Got to do some.
We've traveled and seen some things, and throughout the years, we've gone on a couple vacations. We did Hawaii once. We just recently, this last December, went to
Key Largo.
Key Largo down in Florida, which was fantastic. We had such a fun time.
Mm-hmm.
But
That
we're
was a
getting
blast.
it was really a blast.
Relaxing and awesome.
We're getting to the point now where it's time to do something a little different in life. Of course, I love doing the ramps, and it would be something I would love to carry on if it wasn't so demanding of my time and taking my creativity.
And we're not getting any younger.
We're not getting any younger. I've been writing a book, a couple of them I've started. I'm working on roughly 5 different books right now. And last night, Haley and I were just laughing and having a good time and discussing basically life and everything we've experienced up until this point, and how, she now has seizures, which
Well,
is
it'll
why
be 2 years on October 31st that it started, that we know of. I mean, it's really
it was
started. It's really been way before that because we've noticed all kinds of things.
keep your mouth by the microphone.
You've asked me 10 times, get an MRI, get an MRI, get an MRI,
Yeah.
and I kept, oh, nothing's wrong. I just fainted. I just
Yeah.
fainted. And
She's fallen and hitting her head when she was ice skating, and felt electric through her head. And, I was like, there's something definitely going on there. I'm concerned about you because we've seen other strange things. Right before we went to Hawaii, she had, the girls came in and said, Haley's acting weird. And she's laying face down on the bed, not moving. And I was like, oh, that's weird, because she was supposed to just be taking a shower. And I went in there and found her sitting in a clothes basket inside the closet door, just right in the door jamb, slumped over forward.
with a high heel stuck in the back of my head.
Yeah. And we didn't know what happened. She just was like, oh, low blood sugar. I passed out. I was like, okay.
Because I have no recollection. I thought I went to the bathroom to change my shirt or something, and because I was wanting to change my shirt, and
she had a weird reaction and thought it was, associated with that. She had like a weird rash from it. So we don't know what happened, but we've come to, realize that most likely it was a seizure. And October 31st, we were going to a job out here, and out in the middle of nowhere.
great day.
Beautiful day.
We were having a great time.
Laughing,
Everything
talking,
seemed
joking.
normal. Nothing. Not really stressed out. Nothing.
And then out of the blue, she said something very strange to me. I can't remember exactly what
I thought I said something about somebody being pregnant, but you said
No.
it was nothing like that.
Oh, yeah, she said something about, and you just let them have it all, or something like that. That is the words that came out of
Didn't
her
make
mouth.
sense.
It made no sense. It was tied to nothing. And I looked over and I was like, what are you talking about? And she turned and twisted like she was looking out the back window of the truck. We were in a big rental at the time because my truck was being worked on at the shop. So we had a big flatbed, huge, like Chevy 4500.
And it was pushing me up and down.
Yeah,
It just threw me.
it was bouncing real hard.
Yeah.
So, and I mean, it was a rough ride. That thing, I never would want into one of those. Jeez.
No.
And she just turned like she was looking out the back and started just, I mean,
tell them, say it. Yeah,
horrible. It just like shaking and twitching and violently seizing.
I was violent, and I tried to crawl out the window.
I mean, she did all sorts of stuff. She starts freaking out, and I pull over off the side of the road, and I'm like, Haley, stop. You're okay. It's okay. It's going to be okay. What's wrong? Haley. And she did that for about 14 and a half minutes. And about the last 2.5 minutes, she completely stopped breathing. Her lips turned completely blue. And then for the last 45 seconds, she just slumped. Her eyes went limp. I mean, she looked completely, utterly dead. I checked her pulse. I couldn't feel anything for about 45 seconds. And all of a sudden, she just blinked and looked at me. And it was like she opened her eyes for the first time in someone else's body. She didn't know where she was. She didn't know who anything was, what was going on. And she started freaking out and yelling and screaming and literally jumped out of her seat and tried to crawl across the dashboard of this truck. And she's so little, you can see a big Chevy 4500. She fit right up there. And she shot, because I had the door open, the driver's side door, screaming out for a car to stop. And I'm like, help. And she goes to shoot out the freaking door. And I had to catch her in midair, and dragged her back in and laid her back. On the put her head on the center console with my hand and was supporting her and talking to her, and she's finally breathing, trying to calm her down. She had no idea about anything it must have been 3 hours, 4 hours before she recognized anything.
Yeah, I didn't know who the president was. I said it was
Lean
Obama.
back so you got the mic.
Oh.
You got to talk into the mic, not over.
A little bit, like this.
Yeah, that's fine.
Right
Just
there.
keep it in front of your mouth. Instead of if you go past it, it doesn't hear you the same. Yeah, she had no idea who the president was. She had no idea.
It's like I went back into the, I don't know, early
It's like
2000.
she went, back to 08 or somewhere between 08 and 12, or maybe even 16. But she had regressed.
I didn't know what
time.
year it was. I didn't know anything.
Yeah. No idea who I was. She was like, I don't have a boyfriend, talking to the ambulance. Do you know who that man is?
I said, he's not my boyfriend.
Yeah.
But no, I don't think ever now have I not recognized you, have I? Maybe once
There's
or
been
twice.
a few times, yeah. During some
maybe.
of the bigger ones where you've actually conked out completely. But we were discussing last night, and that's what got us onto the new idea for the new book series. And it was about her last event. The other day, she had walked out of the office, and the dog followed her, and she'd been having issues, a little chest pains here and there, and I've been worried about, heart stuff, because we did just get over COVID, and who knows what that's going to cause or has caused or does cause. And just was gone for like a half hour. I thought she'd went to lay down because it was about 11 o'clock in the evening, and I was getting ready to get up and go check on her when she came stumbling back in the room behind the office here, behind
With
the dog, and just basically completely confused. And I was like, oh, I thought you went and laid down. She said, no, I went to go pee. And I was like, you went to go pee? You're acting real strange.
And I don't even know if I did go to the bathroom or not. I just woke up with him on top of me and licking my face.
Yeah, not me.
No, not you.
Woke up with me on top of her licking her face. That's what you do when somebody has a seizure, obviously. No, so she woke up with the dog, Magoo.
Thank God.
Laying across her, licking her face, and trying to get her to come to. He's been a absolute.
He saved me a couple times.
Yeah, there was another time that she had a seizure and fell, and I witnessed him dive underneath her and catch her before she hit the ground. So he's a pretty impressive dog. Well, then the other night as well, she had a full waking seizure where her body locks up completely. She doesn't really shake, but everything locks up. Her toes point, legs go straight, and her body just becomes a board. Her arms kind of tweak out and get little hook fingers, and but she can talk to you, can't open your mouth, and she's, I can do it, I can do it. And we got to talking.
Yeah, your jaw gets locked, and you can't. It's scary because you can't control it. You can't you can't. It's stuck, and it's terrifying, and you can't do anything about it.
And she's such a strong-willed person, she's so stubborn. No, hold on, I can do it. Let me stand up. And she just wants to do something, and she wants to take control of herself.
I want to get back my control back of my body and my mind, and it just, But I know a lot of people go through it, and I know a lot of people have way more than I do. I usually am having seems like sometimes sometimes 2 a week, and then I won't have one for like 3 weeks, but it usually is about 3 to 4 a month.
Yeah. And there's little weird events here and there where I kind of talk her through and pull her out before she goes full seizure. And we've discovered, she had a stroke at one point, and it was because her sodium levels had depleted
because my medication was too high, and it was stopping my kidneys and lowering my sodium and my blood pressure. Yeah, all of it. I've been on every medication that they have. Only one works.
Yep, and kind of works.
It doesn't.
If she overdoes it, she has more seizures and has a stroke. And if she underdoes it, she has seizures. But we found a good intermittent in pickle juice.
Yes. Best thing you ever did for me. I can be literally lethargic, and like I don't feel like I can even stand up, or I'm going to black out, and then he'll get the pickle juice, I'll drink it, and within 5 minutes I feel
wonderful.
Wonderful, just back to normal.
Yeah.
So for any of you that haven't tried it,
pickle juice is the way to go.
Try it.
And that's just what we live through now. This is our life, and we want to do something differently. It's hard because I can't take her to work with me all the time, especially when she's feeling torn down after a seizure. So we want to get to the point where these are the kind of things. That's why I'm writing so much. I'm writing these books. So hopefully the idea.
He literally takes care of me.
Yeah.
Every bit.
I want to be closer to home. I don't want, because some of these drives, I drive 3 hours one way.
Well, you take me to my mom's, and I'm safe with.
But with COVID, we weren't able to, because she didn't get over COVID as quick as I did. I came up with a negative result faster than her.
But you were way sicker than I. In the very beginning. Oh, you were so sick.
Yeah.
Your fever was so high, you were hallucinating.
I had a 103.8 for a little while there. That one was really, really rough.
Yeah.
And that's where we've been, and why we haven't recorded as many podcasts, haven't had any other guests, but it's been a great experience for Haley and I to further our thinking into our futures, and where we want to go. And we want to do this. I want to write books. I think she thinks, and I think it's fantastic as well, the idea for the new book. And
he's brilliant. He has a great mind. He's got a great imagination. His mind goes
better.
20.
I have a great imagination. I wouldn't say brilliant.
You are brilliant.
Well, thank you.
You know you are. Well, I mean, you don't act like you are, and that's a good thing, but you are. And
we want to do something, and we want to entertain, and we want to bring to light, maybe help somebody with what we talk about.
Well, tell me about the book.
The book. So I've got a few of them going on. If anybody follows anything that I do, Ramblings of a Mad Lamb is kind of about, I have a hypothesis about a Fiji, Vanuatu, Solomon Islands area impact happening. Don't know how long ago, but it looks as though it's been explained in multiple podcasts. If you check them out before, and Ramblings of a Mad Lamb, you dive in and look at that. We'll do more of that in the future, but it's not what today's about. And then I'll just get ideas every once in a while. Like I was reading on Reddit the other day and came across an article that piqued my interest, and I was like, oh, well, I think I can figure out how that actually does work, because it's mystery, spontaneous human combustion. They consider pseudoscience, and
that's very interesting to me.
Yeah, it's turning out pretty well, and I think we're diving down a rabbit hole that may lead to something where I can talk to some real professionals and figure out, if my theory is correct here on how spontaneous human combustion works. So I'm writing kind of a book that'll actually, I would like to, rather than having it be a factual scientific document, since I'm not a scientist, I'm not a doctor, I'm not anybody, I'm a damn ramp installer, that has a
You're
mind
more than that.
I have a very, very vivid imagination. I can work on multiple different writing projects all at once and jump from each to every one. And I enjoy it thoroughly. And then the latest one last night was kicked off because we were discussing exactly this, her seizures, and why we've led to here, and how we got to here. And I've thought up an idea with her help by just bouncing ideas back and forth.
We were just being silly, just talking and
Dr. No Hope.
Yeah.
The book, the series is going to be called Dr. No Hope. And I'm not going to give you any character names or anything like that, but the basic premise is Dr. No Hope is a brilliant, absolute brilliant surgeon who's grown up in the field of medicine and made a name for himself in the past. But as he's grown older, he's really made a big name for himself by solving some of it's kind of like almost a house thing, House MD, where he can figure out things other people can't do. And he is saving people's lives that have no hope, who every other doctor tells them there's nothing anyone can do. It's terminal. You will. And it's every doctor. And he starts taking these he takes one case where the person has a terminal. I don't want to do any of the names, none of the characters whatsoever. I don't want to give away the book or the idea at all right now until it's further written.
It's awesome. It's completely awesome.
The characters are what makes it.
It's awesome.
The
storyline is
the storyline. Yeah. So I'll try to run through it real quick. He's this brilliant neurosurgeon saving people's lives. Gets the attention of the whole world. Goes on tour, travels around the networks and things like that, doing interviews and stuff like that, and gains massive notoriety, making friends everywhere, from the most famous celebrities to the president of the United States. And the COVID variant has mutated quite a bit into a very, 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 very deadly version, where it's very lowly it's hard to transmit. Even if you have it, you got to be swap and spit pretty heavily with someone in order to catch it if they have it, and there's still a high chance you won't get it. But when you get it, it goes to different parts of the body, and it collects. So like if it collects in a kidney, if it collects in a liver, or if it collects in a vein in your arm or in your hand or something like that, you're probably going to lose that body part, So when it hits the brain, it's 100%. It's fatal. When it hits the liver, when it hits the heart, in these parts, it's 100% fatal, but very, very, very low transmission rate on it. So Dr. No Hope saves the president's life, basically, because he gets the brain variant. It settles in his brain. The virus settles, and it starts deteriorating the vessels in his brain. It can cause an aneurysm, and he finds a way to perform a surgery to replace the vessels in the brain safely and effectively, and curing the disease. So he gains even more notoriety as Dr. No Hope, and becomes the go-to guy for
all of that,
for all of this surgery. And he focused wholly on every organ, all of it. He's just a great surgeon in general, but a masterful neurosurgeon. And nobody else can seem to do it. No, he tries to teach his technique, tries to train people, but nobody in the world has been successful, especially in the brain. There's success here and there from very, very, very good doctors who can do it in other body parts, like maybe the heart, or heart transplants. Or you can't transplant a brain, but you can transplant a heart. So people who get it in the heart, you got enough money, or you get on the list, and you can get a heart transplant, a liver transplant, a lung, those types of things. But the brain, it's just, you're done. So there's people that are solving the problem for the world and helping save people's lives, but people's lives are changed completely when they get this disease. Until one day, Dr. No Hope is very, very close with the head of the hospital, and he's been moved to whatever the main hospital that of the United States that the president uses all the time. So he's always there for the, most important people in the world. And he's always working on the most important people in the world, making sure that they're getting saved from this disease and other people along the way too. But he's busy all the time and performs hundreds upon hundreds upon hundreds, if not thousands of surgeries over the time, and just has this great notoriety, doesn't lose anybody. And then one day he's hanging with the head of the hospital, who's noticed he's been acting a little strange here and there every once in a while, and brings him out to dinner and is like, look, what's going on? And it's just overwork, I'm just tired. But it turns out he doesn't even know it's seizures. And then comes another major person, we don't want to say who, but another major character in the movie or the book, high up in the world, a very important person, catches it again, brain variant. And they call upon him, and during the surgery, he has a massive seizure and kills the person. And that's a cliffhanger to book 1. Book 2 will pick up with.
Are there going to be they're complete separate books? Are they going to be just
books inside one book?
Okay.
Yeah, it'll be one big book that has book 1 inside of it, multiple chapters. Book 2, multiple chapters. Book 3, multiple chapters. Book 2 will pick up with the government hiding the fact that they know that he has the seizures, but he's so important that they bring even just the most important of the people in the world to him, but they watch him very closely, and they're monitoring him, and they're trying to diagnose his condition and bringing in doctors for his condition to help resolve his seizure issue. But nobody can get to the bottom of it. Nobody can figure out why he's having the seizures. And
that's very typical.
He's having a massive moral dilemma because he doesn't want to perform the surgeries because he's so scared to have a seizure and kill another person, because with the Hippocratic Oath, do no harm.
Yeah.
So he's in a moral dilemma. And then also the head of the hospital is a massive moral dilemma because they're required to keep this secret from everyone, other doctors, everyone. Only the highest, levels of government know, and the head of the hospital and a few people. And they compartmentalize it and force him to continue to work so that he can save people's lives. And he doesn't want to, and he finally gets to the point where he has a seizure again during a surgery, but they catch him and make sure he doesn't kill the person. But the person, because he's unable to finish, does die, but not because of his, seizure. And then, I've got to go through my notes a little bit on it, so I've got it all planned out. It's a fun thing.
It's going to be all kinds of, it's going to be drama, it's going to be funny, it's going to be sad, it's going to be happy.
When I start revealing the characters and the people that I would love involved in this, it'll be very
well, even if they don't become them, they're still making the character be that person.
It's just so much easier to build the characters that I've picked out.
Yeah.
Because of who they are.
Right.
It's so easy to write for who they are already. And it saves me the time of actually developing each and every character and their heritage and where they came from, their backstory.
Right.
Because they all, have a...
It's kind of hard not to talk about that.
Yeah, it's very hard. He's conflicted, decides that after that seizure, he is just going to stand by and try to teach people how to perform this brain surgery. That's so difficult, but he gets doctor after doctor after doctor in there, talking with them over their shoulders, showing them, doing it, on simulations and trying to explain, but nobody can get it. Nobody can still do what Dr. No Hope can do and save people from this brain variant. And he goes into deep depression due to it.
And it does
and
cause
starts
that.
Spiraling downhill.
Yeah.
And people start to notice. They take notice of more and more people are actually dying from the brain variant now, and they're, what's going on with Dr.
Yeah, because when
No Hope.
it happens to you, you feel like you just feel like you're not a part of the world anymore. You feel like something's wrong with you. You're not normal. it took me almost a year to finally deal with understanding that this is my life, and I can't let it consume me,
Right.
and just to move
And
on. And a
we've
lot of people have
come a long way.
million times. Yeah,
Come a
it
long
was
way.
very bad.
Well, when the people start noticing that Dr. No Hope isn't doing the surgeries anymore, it gets out, and they're like, why isn't he doing the surgeries? These people are dying. So they're not sure what's up. And he's forced into doing surgeries again for the most important people in the world who catch it. And he's forced, and it just drives him nuts. And one day he has a very, very public seizure. And the whole world finds out that Dr. No Hope has to lose his medical license, his ability to, not his license, but they take away his ability to perform surgeries. And that's...
Is he epileptic?
We don't know yet.
Don't know.
They're still working on it. They can't figure out what's wrong with them.
Yeah.
And that's the cliffhanger.
And anyone that deals with seizures, you know that it's such a hard deal to diagnose and go through. I mean, I've been dealing with this, like I said, almost 2 years, and they still don't have everything figured out.
We have no idea what it is. We don't have a real diagnosis, But he, again, cliffhanger, he's hit, the whole world's found out Dr. No Hope can no longer perform surgery. And so the world is left into despair. What are we going to do if anybody catches this brain variant? The only person in the world that's capable of doing this can no longer save our lives. So it's a death sentence. So it's truly, these people have no hope anymore.
Yeah.
And he goes into a massive chaos and turmoil, and he can't resolve his, feelings, and feeling horrible that he can no longer help people. And so many people are dying. Everybody and it's all over the news. Where's Dr. No Hope? What can Dr. No, who can take Dr. No Hope's place?
Children.
Everyone. Anybody that catches it. It's well, you know how kids get mononucleosis in school, kind of the same deal. Their kids are kissing,
Yeah.
So yeah, it's just
younger and younger.
Ridiculous. But the beginning of book 3, basically, it shows him, spiraling into chaos and turmoil. He can't stand it. And so he figures the only thing that he can do, since he can't get anybody and get any doctors to do the surgery properly, they're saving people through the other surgeries and stuff, but the brain variant, he just can't stand it. So he wants to throw himself out of the world and disconnect, and goes down to a beautiful, beautiful location in Mexico, and lives out, on the beach and everything. But he's kind of a drinker, does a little drugs here and there, kind of, his life is in turmoil, and he's very conflicted, until one day a very eccentric billionaire comes to him and says, I need you to save the love of my life, and I will give you anything to save the love of my life. And he's very hesitant at first. He's like, I can't do it. I can't do it. I can't do it. And the eccentric billionaire brings down the old head of the hospital to meet with him and talk with him. And the head of the hospital convinces him, look, these people have no hope. They're going to die anyways. If you have a seizure, they were going to die. But
they're going to die anyway.
They're going to die anyways. So it's a lose-lose situation. If he has a seizure, they're going to lose. If he doesn't perform the surgery, they're going to lose. So he decides that his only thing, he has no hope. They have no hope. He remains Dr. No Hope, and decides to do surgery for this eccentric billionaire, and successfully saves the love of his life. And the eccentric billionaire sets him up a giant, beautiful hospital, and brings in the greatest minds and the greatest surgeons that have ever existed that have screwed up and lost their ability to practice medicine, but they're brilliant people who are the best in their fields, and they had a screw up. Something happened, and they can't work anymore. And they open this hospital down there in Mexico, and they all start gathering there, and it becomes kind of a destination for the richest of the rich and the most affluent. And it's a secret thing. It's almost a secret society. Nobody really knows, because everybody's still wondering, where is Dr. No Hope? Where is Dr. No Hope? Until one day, the head of the cartel is brought in through the doors, kicks in the doors to the surgery that Dr. No Hope is in the middle of. And Dr. No Hope, they're holding guns on him. You're going to save his life. You're going to save his life, or else, we're going to kill you. And he says, obviously, if you kill me, this man's going to die anyways. I'm going to finish my surgery. I'm going to save this person's life, and then I will save his life. But you will get out of my operating room now.
Yeah.
And so they obviously have no choice. They leave the operating room. He gets the other one prepped while he finishes surgery, successfully saves the surgery that he's on, and goes and saves the head of the cartel. So obviously he's going to get killed if he doesn't save him.
Exactly.
So he does his best. He saves the head of the cartel, and now he's tossed into a moral dilemma between the billionaire
and he still have to mess with
the cartel, because the head of the cartel and the main people who saw what happened gain a certain respect for him, and he becomes untouchable. However, they constantly are bringing people to him, and he doesn't want that connection. He doesn't want to be connected to the bad aspect. And they decide, they find out how much money he's making through doing these surgeries under the guise of someone else, and nobody knows. And they're billionaires and millionaires, and they want in. Mm-hmm. And the eccentric billionaire becomes involved with, trying to figure out how to get him out of the connection with the cartel and save him. And the cartel is wrapping their fingers tighter and tighter around him, creating more and more of a moral dilemma. And I haven't come to the end of book 3 yet. I haven't developed the end of that one yet, but it'll be either a cliffhanger and turn into a Netflix series.
But just this, you did in how many?
We talked about it for 3-4 hours last night. Yeah.
And you came up with this.
Yeah, but it's going to be, when I start releasing who I want the characters to be, especially if I can do a Netflix series with it. If I can bring this to Netflix and actually present this to them, oh my goodness, the people that I'm talking about that I would love to bring in are what's going to make this. It's going to be...
Well, the storyline's amazing.
Storyline's amazing, but it's the characters that truly make the story what it is going to be, because that's the surprise. That's the beauty of who these people are. And it'll shock, it'll awe, it'll be hilarious at times, it'll be dramatic, it'll be scary, terrifying, drama. Imagine the most heartwarming, heartfelt movie in the entire world just to be dashed as zombies come running through at the end and destroy the lovers, that kind of deal. Strange things. And then it's just going to carry on further and further as I decide if I want to write more books into the series, if it's something. But I'm enjoying it. This is one of my favorite.
I think it's going to be amazing.
I
really do.
It's inspired by you. And the eccentric billionaire, I can tell you who that is. That's going to be me. But I'm obviously not, and then the love of his life is her. So Dr. No Hope has to save her from the scary brain variant. Mm-hmm. And we don't know how she caught it. Maybe the billionaire had it and got it in his toe or something ridiculous. Didn't know. Something weird, Had to chop off a toe.
She was cheating.
Uh-oh. Better not be. Got to save the love of his life. So, but that's in a nutshell where Dr. No Hope, the next, I really want to get this out.
Wish you could talk about it more, but you can't.
Yeah, I can't reveal much more than that.
No.
It's too big. It's too good.
It's too good. It's too good. It's
and I don't.
Very good. Good story.
I'm pretty happy when I write something that makes me feel good. Mm-hmm. Like I have the speech I can't even read because it chokes me up. Mm-hmm. I get choked up over it. I can't even get all the way through it. It's called America, We're Better Than This. It's on a podcast. I think it's the January 6th podcast, somewhere in there with Mike.
Check it out.
Check it out for sure. But it's called America, We're Better Than This. Because we are. We're better than this, America.
Yeah.
And we can do better. And we can lead the world through peace and prosperity. Oh my gosh, it shut off.
Did it really?
No, the screen did. I hate that. This thing is not supposed to do that anymore.
What just happened?
Well, I don't know.
A signal detected.
I set this thing up to. Did the battery die? Is that what happened? Perhaps. Is it unplugged? I'm very confused with this laptop. Sorry.
Are you
folks.
next to the plug?
No, I think it's plugged in. It's just for some reason my laptop does whatever the heck it wants. For some, I literally shut off. Do not go to sleep
there
anymore.
It is. There
Well,
it is.
yeah, I just turned it back on. But I'm sorry, folks. I'm going to get this set up. So talk a little bit more. I want to hear about, what you experienced, and I'm sure it would be helpful what you experienced during these events when you're awake. What do you remember? Because I do certain things in order to help you and guide you along.
Well, you do help me not be so scared. But, like if you even leave the room, after I have a seizure, I get scared.
Right.
And I just literally want him right there beside me, not to leave. And I have it's turned into a big episode of the last few times I've flown. I've had a seizure, and, and I haven't had him with me, so I will not fly ever again without him.
Yeah.
Because it's too scary.
She had a seizure in an airport bathroom.
Yeah.
At one point while she was flying out to California to visit her kids out there. Very, very scary.
It's just, knowing that you're there, that's the great thing. But being awake during a seizure is way more scarier because you're out of control. You can't make your body do what it's supposed to do, and then you're so confused. And then even like after maybe even an hour, I can be talking to you, but not remember what I said. And probably don't even make sense.
Yeah, she becomes very argumentative when it happens. That's how I can tell. There's certain little signs prior to her seizures.
I'd get angry or something.
Really
just
almost childish. You're just like, no, no, I'm not, and then won't tell me, what's going on, what are you feeling?
And that's the other thing.
Nothing, I'm fine, I'm fine.
Going to the hospital, I throughout this, until I stopped it, I told him, I said, unless, I'm not breathing or I'm turning blue, please do not take me to the hospital. Because when I get there, I'm poked and prodded, and I'm there 4 or 5 days, and, it's just, I hate being at the hospital, and I hate it. And I don't feel like they really even know, what's going on. It's the same thing every time. MRI.
And then no answers.
No answers.
Yeah.
And I've made a lot of changes in my life. I eat. I try to eat like crazy. I can't gain weight.
She can't go to work with me anymore, I can't, be near her, and I've got to complete, in order for us to survive.
We want to get it to where you're doing the things that you want to do, and you're not doing the ramps, and then I don't have to worry about what's going to happen. I could have I could have literally went through the shower door.
Oh, I know, the other night.
That's where I was.
Yeah, she fell and woke up with her head against the glass shower door.
If you wouldn't have been there, and that would have happened, that would have ended up into the emergency room, or God knows what.
Who knows? And it's a scary thing. It's terrifying. Even with me here.
For about 5 months when I first had the seizures, I didn't even want to pick up a knife. I was scared to even, do anything like that. Get on a chair, but I had to come to grips that I have to, live and, move on. And it hurt our relationship. I drew away from him because I just felt, he never made me feel that way, but I just felt like that, I wasn't worthy of him. He needed somebody different than me because I had this major problem. And so, if anybody out there is feeling like that, that's not the way to feel. It's
at all. No.
It's not. And you just have to get through it. And it takes time. It takes a lot of time.
It does.
And everybody probably is different on their time,
Yeah.
But honestly, I'm doing a lot better mentally, physically. I do have to watch. I have to like make myself eat.
Yeah.
You know, it's not just like, oh,
I have to
I'm
make her
hungry, I
eat.
want to eat. You know, I have to literally, like, before I take my medicine, I have to make myself eat, because if I don't eat, then I get very sick.
Mm.
And
She loves it when I cook, though.
oh yeah, best. Oh,
We're,
that's another thing that we're gonna do. He's gonna
yeah.
start a channel of cooking, and he is a. I'm not just saying this because he's my spouse or whatever you want to call him. We're not married,
I'm your man, baby.
but might as well be.
Yeah, well,
But
she's basically
he
my wife.
cooks, you know, he cooks phenomenal.
So what we're going to do is we're going to start with Chronicles of a Broken Mind. When we're bringing on other guests, we're going to cook a meal for them prior to the podcast, and we're going to record the cooking of the meal. Yeah, when they come in, well, whoever, because they're not all going to be veterans.
Yeah.
It just so happens I know a lot of veterans,
Right.
and we're going to talk to a lot of veterans. But the future of Chronicles of a Broken Mind is much bigger. We want to do meals. We're going to record the cooking of the meals and cut little pieces of it, you know, and stick it kind of in the beginning to show you guys new ideas and, you know, foods.
Yeah.
And how to cook them. And because I'm not a traditional chef. I don't cook like anybody else that I know of.
Your steak is literally better than any steak I've ever had. Well, it really is.
I love cooking steak.
And you know it is.
Yeah,
it's,
well,
it's
I love
hard
it.
to get a good steak. And, I mean, what is it? Texas Roadhouse or whatever. No, not, what is it?
Saltgrass?
No, the one.
Mahoganies?
The one we go to with Mike and Paige a lot.
Oh, that one's, gosh, right down the road. It's one we go to all the time.
Anyways, it's the steak, the T-bone is, and then the fillet part, delicious. But there's no comparison to. I'd rather him cook.
I can cook a meal. That's
you can cook a steak like.
And we're gonna call it. We're gonna call this the new channel for the cooking is gonna be called The Selfish Chef. You eat what I eat, or you don't eat. And so we'll cook these meals.
I eat it.
Oh yeah. Well, we want to talk to whoever the guest is going to be, find out what they may be allergic to, and then prepare a meal around them and maybe something that they enjoy, like their favorite thing. And I'll make my iteration of their favorite thing. Or just, you know, if they say do whatever, we'll just make something up on the spot, because that's typically how I cook. I just make up my recipes as I go along. Yeah. I don't measure
everything in there. I'm like going, oh my gosh, but it's amazing.
It always turns out well. There's a couple times I've had a couple that weren't the best.
I can't think of one.
There's been some that I wasn't too proud of, but
I can't think of one.
So Selfish Chef will be a different channel, and that'll be completely separate, but we'll show you the meal, how it's prepared, how I prepare it, what I put in, how much I put in. You'll be able to watch it, exactly what I do, how I cook it, what the temperatures are.
So check it out.
Check it out. Silent Chef or Selfish Chef when that goes up, but we'll have little introductions, and then we'll have the podcast with the guest on Chronicles of a Broken Mind. And just like you've seen with these here, it's kind of sometimes it's an organization of my thoughts. It's like a little notebook for me. But it's also, we want to share. I want to share these experiences, and I want to share these people.
How do you come up with all this? Where do you think this all comes from?
My mind's always
your mind just goes.
10 million ideas a day, and I can only catch a few of them, you know. But I you know how much I note, and I journal. I have thousands upon thousands and notes. They just
I don't even know how I sleep.
On and on and on. Those are just notes, and a lot of those are chapters and chapters and chapters and chapters.
For hours and hours and hours.
The other day I did some research for my hypothesis, and
can't get too much into that either.
Yeah, the Fiji Vanuatu. I share a lot of stuff. There's some things on Reddit. There's the general idea that I've been focusing through on Ramblings of a Mad Lamb. You just have to look that up, literally exactly how it is, and you'll see there should be 4 of them, or 5 maybe, Ramblings of a Mad Lamb.
Go ahead and list all of them.
Well, it's Ramblings of a Mad Lamb. There's 1, there's 2, I think, or continued. There's Ramblings of Mad Lamb 1, continued, 3, 4, and Ramblings with Jake. And I have to warn you, I do have a foul mouth sometimes. I do cuss. I'm very descriptive. with my language, and sometimes I say MFer and bitch and all them words. I try not
Oh
to.
well,
I've been
we're
working on it.
adults.
We're adults, and I hope you're all adults as well.
And if there's content that he would put up, he would be sure and not for children.
Yeah. Well, I don't want to offend anybody, but never at my
Yeah.
point. I love everybody equally.
Yes.
You know, that you.
Yeah, we were talking last night, and I was saying some things, and he's like, "No, I don't want to go there," and I didn't even really realize.
Yeah, there's.
But he's like, "No, I don't." He
There's-
wants to keep.
Nobody needs their feelings
Yeah.
hurt. The things that I want to do, I want everyone to enjoy. These are going to be for everyone.
Yeah.
And yeah, maybe not little kids under 18, under 16, whatever.
It's probably about 15,
Yeah,
16
anymore
usually.
with language and cussing
think
and
it's
stuff
15.
like that. Those are 15, 16 years
Yeah.
old. They're doing
Oh,
saying worse
it's
things than I could ever
think
say.
I think it's 14 now.
They're already exposed to that crap
Yeah.
constantly.
Well, I think it's 14.
So, I'm not. It sucks because nowadays you have to self-censor, and with the state of the world, I don't want to offend anybody. I'm not here to hurt anybody's feelings. I'm here
Yeah.
to share ideas. I'm here to develop new ideas. I'm here to. I want to leave a legacy behind. I want to do something for the world and make it a better place than I found it in. And I've been trying to do that my whole life. I went through the Marine Corps, had, very
Yeah,
short.
tough childhood.
Childhood was great though. I mean, it wasn't as bad as you think it is. It was,
Well, just because
I
I
enjoyed
guess
it.
we just were so different.
so different.
Yeah.
Yeah, we lived such different lives, but I had a good childhood. I
Yeah.
loved my childhood. I grew
Yeah.
up well. I did have issues and, moved out when I must have been 16 when I moved out. I could talk to my friends. I moved in with my friend Justin and
That's
his
kind of
family
typical,
for a
though.
little bit.
Guys go through that when they're, 15,
Yeah.
16. It's high testosterone. They don't want nobody telling them what to do or whatever.
Yeah, and I was a
it's
little
just,
shit. I was a
aren't
raging little
aren't
shit.
they all?
But,
You guys, until you're about 35, you don't grow up.
in order to maintain my focus and graduate high school, because I did, I moved out and then lived with friends and continued to go to school and graduated high school, and then I was born and raised in Oregon, left Oregon, went to Seattle.
But you went to college. You went to.
Yeah, I did a little bit of college. I did
Yeah.
Community college first, and then
And opened up your business for personal training.
well, that was way later. Yeah, I've gone through a lot. I've done a whole lot in my life.
He has.
I worked as
he
an
is
electronic.
A jack of all trades. I can't ask him one thing if he hasn't done in it. I mean, he's done it.
Yeah, I've done a lot of things. I have
He's got a very
broad
old soul.
understanding. I have a very broad understanding of a lot of things. You can describe things that I've never maybe heard of, and I can make connections with things that I know and find answers within it. And possibly, I find things that other people sometimes miss and don't see. They say some people don't see things that are right in front of their face, and
That's me.
I have a ability to kind of see
Yeah.
things that are right in front of
Well,
your
you
face.
scope out the whole room, whatever room
Exact-
you walk in. As soon as you
Yeah.
walk in, you're scoping out the whole thing.
I'm a wide view type person. I look
Yeah.
further out. Most people are, they focus on, well, this is this, so we have to focus directly on this. And I take a step back and I look at the whole world,
Yeah.
I try to see it from orbit, get a wide view. And when I see something that's interesting, I zoom in, and then I'll research and focus and dive deeper, but it still leads down other pathways, because everything in life isn't just, like, for instance, geology. Geology isn't just rocks. Geology is the formation of rocks, and how did that formation occur? You got to think first principles, which means you got to apply physics to it. You've got to apply time to it. You've got to apply multiple different variables, and a lot of people just leave those variables out and just regurgitate what they've learned in a book.
Right.
And I don't want to do that. I want
Be open-minded.
to be open-minded and find answers, because nothing's absolute.
Right.
Even my ideas have huge
and
opportunities
learn more
to be.
and learn more. You're
Yeah.
not just.
It's about learning, and it's about being self-taught. It's about first principles thinking and getting to the very, very first, asking the right questions, and then finding the correct or the best answer for it. And that's, even with her seizures, I'm no doctor, but
But
I
he's
did.
figured out. You've helped me better than the doctor. I hate to say that, but I guess just because you've dealt with it and you live with it.
It's an understanding.
And
I was very, very good in science growing
Yeah.
up. One of my favorite classes were science classes in high school, so I understood science very well. And then,
I don't think I could go through this with anyone else because, especially the way that I am, I'm stubborn. I get my feelings hurt. And you just know how to work through it. I don't know how you do it,
love.
but you're like, it's hard love, honey.
It's hard.
Hard
Well,
love.
you see how I get. I get very firm with you, and it's never to be an ass. It's never to be a
No.
dick. But I'm very firm for specific reasons,
Yeah.
in order to get your attention and keep you focused. Because when you become, when you have a seizure, you're confused. Your
And
brain
out
isn't
of
working
control.
right and out of control. And somebody needs to take control of you
Yeah.
so you don't hurt yourself. You
Right.
become a danger to yourself.
Right.
And I'm that person, and I try to be the
He
guiding light.
saved me. He saved me 10 years ago. I fought it. People, everyone in
gosh,
our
everybody.
life has tried to get us apart.
It's been ridiculous.
But he saved me from all kinds of
And she
things.
saved me too.
No, you really did.
Well,
though.
I found
you know
someone.
What I'm saying.
But we may be so different in so many different
We're
ways.
so different. We're night and day.
But that's the yin and yang of us, and opposites attract, and that's why we're so tight. We just work wonderfully well together. I'm so happy. Been the happiest I've been.
It's been 10 years and we've been through a lot, but I wouldn't do it with anybody else.
I couldn't do it with anybody else.
Is that a good thing or a bad thing?
Oh, it's a good thing. I'd be single if it wasn't for you. I couldn't deal with, the way the world is and how people are, and we've developed and come a long way in our relationship and who we are, to a great
We still
understanding.
sit
of
by
one
each other. We still are
Every night.
always by each other. We're
I
together.
love you 100 times a day.
Yeah, we're together more than most couples spend,
Yeah, if you're not saying to the person that you're with that I love you every single day, you need to reevaluate. You need to look at yourself and figure out what's going on, why you're not telling that person you love them, because, you need to be there for them, and you need to show the love that is within you, because that's why you got together in the first place. Rediscover it, figure it out.
Yeah.
And sometimes we've had to do that ourselves.
Yeah.
We've been through hard times, and we've rediscovered it, but it's only brought us closer and made us stronger. And the bond of our relationship, at this point is unbreakable.
Right. I believe that.
I won't let anything interfere with it. I won't let it be taken over or taken away. She is wonderful. She has provided and done so much for me.
You do.
If you saw how these ramps are, go ahead. Chronicles of a Broken Mind. There's a video I've put on here that says a lamb doing what a lamb does. And it's me, high speed, putting in a ramp. I took a video of me putting in a whole ramp system, a little one, mind you, just a tiny one.
Real fast.
And then I sped it up like 1,000 times. So it's just me running around. And you want to see it, how a ramp goes together? That's a little one. I do ones that are
Huge.
10 times that size.
Yeah.
Regularly, they're usually, from that one, it's usually probably about
How much does the
2 to
platform?
3 times.
How much does the platform weigh?
I'm not sure what the weights are. They're pretty heavy.
I know, like
Like a big one
200.
or a little one? This-
how about the great big one? How
The
much?
big, huge ones, over 100 probably.
More than that.
No, they're probably about 100 pounds.
Really?
Yeah.
They look like about 200.
No, they're not that bad. But
Gee.
carrying 100 pounds awkwardly off to your side.
Yeah, and wind and
Oh my gosh, Oklahoma
Yeah.
winds.
yeah.
Sometimes I'm carrying 8-foot sections.
A box will throw me
Yeah.
down to the ground with the wind.
The
Putting
biggest,
the box away.
the biggest sections of ramp we do are 8-foot sections that we'll put together. The longest section we'll do is a 30-foot altogether, so it's 3/8 and a 6. And that's, I don't know what the weight on that comes out. It's probably nearly 300 pounds.
Well, he throws them around like they weigh nothing. Literally.
I've been lifting them for so long. It's technique. And then prior to doing the ramps, I was a personal trainer. And one thing that I was very, very, very good at, again, science. I understand the body. I understand kinesiology very, very well. I did very well over at UCSD.
You've kept me straight.
No, that's your seizures. It's calisthenics. She's ripped from calisthenics. Because imagine flexing your whole body as hard as you can. No. Don't imagine flexing. Imagine a cramp the worst cramp you can imagine. Now apply it to your entire body for 45 minutes.
Yeah.
And that's what she does. So she does massive calisthenics, these insane calisthenics. So she's just a hard-bodied little tough thing. And she is stronger than she looks for a 99-pound little thing, you know. But absolutely.
Well, I've gotten weaker, but I'm working back up to it.
It's usually after you've been sick, you notice the weakness, or after a seizure, you're much weaker, and it takes a while for your muscles to recover after that.
Yeah.
You don't get your strength back, and then
Yeah.
also you have trouble eating because you get nauseated and you
Yeah.
throw up, and
A lot of it's a meditation
and trying to get the food back in you and get your
Yeah.
calorie counts back up, that you won't have energy until you do.
Yeah.
And that's what we find we have to do. But she can no longer go and do these ramps with me anymore. It's not safe for her, and it's become to the point where it's getting to where it's not safe for me to be away.
I'm gonna get it to where you're my caretaker. Is what we're gonna end up getting it to where it's
Yeah.
gonna be.
Yeah, we don't know
And
where
then
this
that
is going.
way, I don't have to worry, and
Like I said,
you can do the things that you want to do.
I would
that
love
you're
to
passionate
write
about.
full time and work on these projects. I would love to. I
But that's what our plan is.
Yeah.
You know.
I love editing and putting together videos. I had a blast doing this music video in a video game. You can check that one out. I saw, what is the name of that? It's on my other channel. I've got a little video gaming channel.
There's a song, and that
But I
girl
direct-
sounds just like her.
Oh, really?
It's called "The Way That I Want You."
I don't know.
I've told you I liked the song before, but I heard it again the other day.
And it sounds just like Rose?
Yeah.
Yeah.
She could do that song.
Oh,
Yeah.
well, if you figure out what it is, tell her. I'll have her do
I
a
think
parody
it's called
of it.
"The Way That I Want You."
The Way That I Want You. And I'll have her do a parody of it.
Yeah.
We'll write some different words and do a music video.
I can
Because
like
I
that.
did an in-game video directing. Because I'm a nerd. I'm a gamer. I love video games. I've always loved video games.
He buys real spaceships.
They're
Well, they're fake
fake spaceships, but I really buy them.
He really buys them.
But a lot of people do, and I know people that have spent way more money than I have on them. You know.
I don't care. You enjoy it, and you deserve
It's my hobby.
it. You work your ass off.
Yeah. Some people buy
And-
golf clubs and go golfing. I buy video game spaceships. You know, and flight rigs that. Well, my whole computer is literally in a. Well, it's a.
Oh, you can't pull the camera over to see it.
Oh, I could. It's
Well, yeah, but
really
you don't
neat.
wanna
I've
mess
got dual curved monitors into like a whole entire aluminum. It's a flight chair, you know. It's got joysticks and all the fun. I mean, and again, I've lived a very, very, very fortunate life. We're very blessed. We're very, very fortunate, but we've worked extremely hard for the things we have, and now we're having to do something different, and we want to do this, and we want to change the world with it. I want people to hear the things that we have to say and other people have to say. The most important is some of these veterans and the things that they have to say. We're going to have a guest next Saturday who's an 88-year-old Korean war vet who witnessed 6 of the the hydrogen bombs over the Bikini Atoll. And we're going to talk about that kind of stuff and his time in the Navy.
I'm looking forward to that.
Oh my gosh, he is such a wonderful person. But that'll be next Saturday, that podcast. We're going to have him and his family, and that's going to be the first Selfish Chef. We're cooking him a big meal. We're going to record it, have a little early conversation pre-podcast.
How many videos are you going to be trying to get out a week?
Right now, if I can hit one a week, that's
One a
great.
week.
Just with as many ramps as I have to do and as much
Yeah.
time dedicated to that.
Right.
Look, if people start really digging this and start supporting and helping us grow, I want to get to 3 a week, you know?
Yeah.
I want to spend, heck, if I could do 4 a week and still write every single day, you know, write 5-7 days a week, because that's what I want to spend my time doing. I want to be here. I want to write.
Check him out. Like, subscribe. Check him out.
It's us. This is all us. This is
Well,
it's my brainchild,
brain
but
behind it.
you know, I
bring up ideas because I just am being silly and
well,
stuff. But
we're together every single day and we talk, and it's great to bounce ideas off each other. And there's a lot of great stuff that, you know, we can share and maybe help the world. Your seizures are, you know, there's somebody out there that maybe can benefit from
Yeah,
pickle juice.
post some things, and if there's things you went through that you think that weren't better or anything, I'd be up to
move that mic in front of your face. Sorry.
Reading the comments to
pull it this way. There you go.
There we go. That's a lot better.
Yeah.
That would help me even.
Yeah.
If you have any questions,
or
if you know anything,
anybody that has been diagnosed who has seizures, and they have some of this, because we'll talk about this here periodically about her symptoms and all that. And if something clicks to you guys, please, we'll read the comments. We'll be going through.
Yeah.
We're looking for answers, and we're looking for a better life for everybody that we contact and get in touch with. We just want to do different,
He's got a big heart. He's very kind, generous. He means well.
I'm a big introvert, but
you've came out of it a lot.
I've come out a lot.
It's almost like we kind of switched and we kind of mixed.
Yeah,
that because I was a social bug, never home, always out, being around people, and it's kind of switched. But now, he would never talk. He would be very quiet wherever we were, checking everything out. But I think that was the Marine in you.
Yeah, I would observe. And then, of course, my mind is run like this my whole life.
Yeah.
So I think a lot. And when I'm
you're
quiet,
thinking the whole time.
I'm thinking.
Well, yeah. And
but now,
he can talk to anybody, and
people seem to enjoy it. The people that I've
you have a lot to say. You have a lot to say.
Yeah.
You've held back for a long time.
In the last,
and you have a lot to say, and
I would say in the last 3 months, I've had probably 5 people tell me that I should run for office of some sort. And you know what? I am not well, you can watch the other podcasts with Anthony, some of the first ones, and you'll hear me talk about how I feel about governance and government right now. I'm not necessarily completely opposed to it. I think there's a good place for it, but where we're at right now is not at all a good place, and we're not heading into a better place. Yeah. And I would love to see that change. And if this becomes a vehicle for that, who knows?
Right.
Who knows? I'm not discounting, or I won't dismiss anything or any ideas. I just want to make the world a better place. I want it to be good for everyone. Right. Everyone. And why not start here at home? Because we're starting to lose the things that matter the most, and the things that are the most important. So here's my voice, here's her voice. It's Chronicles of a Broken Mind. We really, really appreciate and hope that you guys enjoy this. Please like, share, subscribe, comment. Tell your friends to subscribe.
Absolutely.
Please. If you know anybody looking to sponsor somebody like this,
leave a lot of comments. Let us know if they're bad, good, whatever they are.
Anything. It doesn't matter. We need input.
Exactly.
It's data. But don't be a dick. Don't just be like, some people on the internet. There's no reason to troll. Do be constructive in your comments. You can do that. I'm sure of it. If I can do it, even when I'm angry, if something we say pisses you off, take a second to think about it, and you want to come back and comment the next day.
Yeah, comment on it.
Do a negative comment, but make it constructive. Tell us how we can help.
You
want to slap the like button? You want to slap the dislike button? I don't care.
Yeah.
But share it. If you hate what we're saying, share it so you can get it out to the people. Oh, do you hate this too? Get a consensus. See how hated we are. Share it. Everybody, share it if you hate it. Share it if you like it. And please subscribe. We love you all, and we want the best for the world. And I've got huge aspirations. I don't know if that's being.
He has huge dreams. Huge
dreams.
He really does.
And as you can hear from, I'm writing literally 5-6 books right now. Yeah. I work on all of them all the time. And then in between there's notes and new ideas.
Yeah.
I'm constantly adding new notes to the list. I'm constantly, thinking. Mm-hmm. It never stops. I think I don't know, autistic or something. No. I don't know. I don't know if it's Asperger's. I don't know. My brain does not work like a normal human's. That's for sure.
Well,
it's different.
Well, I think you're smart, and I think you're brilliant, and I think you're going to do well.
You're wonderful.
I do. It's not just because we're together. I believe it.
Hey,
I believe that I don't even think 10, but within 5 years. I know your friend was like 10 years, but within
he's
five,
awesome.
but yeah, he is. Within 5 years, I really believe that.
Great person. I mean,
Yeah.
super nice, very, very thoughtful,
Mm-hmm.
really intelligent.
Yeah.
Really
But
intelligent.
so are you. You've been kind of brought down a lot in your life, and you haven't really had anybody. That's something that I do, is I try to uplift you and try to encourage you to do the things, because we only live once.
Yeah. Well, we
So
wouldn't
you
be
might
here
as
if it
well.
wasn't with your encouragement. You know, the one thing that she told me that I've heard in the past is the very first time we met, she's like, "I love your voice."
Mm-hmm. Great voice.
And
There's people I can't even I want to hear their content, and I flip through YouTube, but I can't because their voice is just, I can't
it's
handle
grating.
their voice.
There's people who.
So the good thing
Yeah.
is you do have
When
a
people
good
apply
voice.
artificial inflection and stuff like that, and they talk like this
I
and
hate
end
my
like
voice.
that.
Yeah.
Or they do the DJ. Next on the pull. All right. Linda, you're not listening. Yeah. So, I don't want to be false. I don't want to be fake, but I am a dork and I am a geek and I'm a nerd and I'll say some weird shit here and there, and I'm very passionate in the things that I speak about. And you'll see all of that with me if you just hang out with us.
Well, on the different, explain like it's like politics is a different one.
Oh, yeah,
they're
for
all
sure.
different.
Yeah.
Everything that the different channels are all different on different subjects.
Not necessarily. I mean, we'll talk. I have no problem. Whatever the people want to talk about on this, this is a conversation. Just talk about everything.
Whatever.
Yeah, people want to talk to me about what I do. I want to talk to them about what they do. But I want to introduce people to the world and what they've done and their effect on the world and the things that they've done that are amazing or exciting.
Mm-hmm.
How life has changed and what the changes they've seen from their time, especially some of these people that are in their 80s and 90s.
Right.
They've come from a point where you didn't go to the store to go get stuff. You were raising animals. You were growing your own food, and that's the only way. Yeah, no cell phones, none of that, no computers. What the heck was a computer,
Yeah.
So yeah.
Honestly, I don't know how they kind of live nowadays. It's
a lot of them ignore it and they don't do it. They're like, I'm not going to learn that crap.
That's my mom. My mom.
And they get stuck.
That's why we got to get her on here. One day you guys meet my mom.
Oh my goodness, that's going to be
an
odd. Whoo, we're gonna have a backing before they get her on there, so that people can be like, all right, I understand, because we'll have conversations about her. She's not a bad woman, but she just sometimes
she has a different mind.
Yeah,
mind of her own, definitely.
Mind of her own and a mouth she can't control sometimes.
Yeah.
So.
She'll be over. She can't. Like if she was sitting right here, she'd already be over there. Right in his face.
I'd be like, sit in front of the mic.
Back over there,
Kathy.
And
Get in front of the mic, but
down.
she'll do this. She'll be like.
She'll just creep and keep getting further and
there
further.
Was a giant
and you're
rainbow.
And you're like.
Get out.
You're in my space. Then get out.
You're popping the bubble there.
Yeah.
Kathy.
That one time, I was so glad you spoke up. I saw her getting up and
she kept
headed
chasing
fast,
me around.
and you're getting further, and finally you said something. I thought,
put the
thank
island
God.
between us first in the kitchen because I was by the fridge and she kept getting closer and closer. So I put the island between us. She came around the island, got closer and closer. So I went around the outside of the bar, and she kept walking around the bar. So I moved from the first bar stool to the third bar stool, and she walked.
I was
right
waiting.
past.
I was getting ready to say something, but I thought he can handle it. He's got her.
Oh my goodness! It was. She gets like this far away from you, and I'm like, okay, Kathy, I don't want to be rude. I don't want you to take this the wrong way, but you got to get out of my face. You're in my space. You're popping my bubble.
Yeah.
Arm space. Yeah. This is my bubble. I don't like anyone inside of it. There's only certain people that
she
get
really
inside that
she
bubble.
really does it more to you than anyone.
Well,
it's
she gets so engrossed in conversation with me,
you.
Because I speak my mind and I think it fascinates. She's like, what?
Yeah, what? What? Are you saying this to me?
What?
Yeah.
Nobody would ever say this
But
to me.
and then also she finds you very interesting, and she likes a lot of the things that you say, and I mean,
Hey, that's the
where
consensus
we are
when
right
I
now.
talk face
That's
to
why
face with people.
exactly.
You know, I don't think there's. We'll go on jobs, and you know how the vets react with me.
Oh yeah, they love you.
And they love the conversation, and that's where it comes from. Some of these vets, I'll pop off on a subject on politics or something. They're like, "Wow, you need to run for office. I have never heard this view, and this is the view is the way it should be." Or I don't know, but that's the response I get from people. Well, it's a huge
compliment. I know you don't take it that way.
Well, no. I take it as a big compliment.
But I know, but you don't. You're just like,
I try not to be
no
egotistical
way.
about it. I don't want to get a big head.
No.
Because I don't think those things about myself.
You're a humble person.
Well,
that's another reason I fell in love with you.
If you're not humble, you end up eating humble pie.
What's that mean?
Somebody will shove it down your throat.
Uh-oh, to make you humble?
Yeah.
Oh, I never heard that expression.
Well, I don't know if it's a real expression. I just said it.
You just made that up?
I have no idea. I could have heard it somewhere.
I've never heard that.
If you're not humble, you'll eat humble pie.
Wow.
Somebody will make you eat it.
That probably your dad or mom.
I don't know.
Maybe.
But it's a fun thing being me, and it's a great life that we have, and we want to make it better, and we want to provide entertainment, hours and hours and hours and hours, rewatchable, and we want to teach, with the Selfish Chef. I'm telling you, some of these recipes, if you try them, you'll be impressed.
Yeah.
You'll be very impressed.
If you can just get it, if they can get it down, when we'll
just watch it real close.
We'll wait till that comes.
I'm not measuring anything either.
You're what?
I won't measure anything. Well, actually, I can't say that because if I bake, I do measure.
Oh gosh, she makes the best. I don't know what that thing is.
Coffee cake.
Yeah,
we can't
even make it.
I'm not allowed to make it.
I don't eat. I don't even eat. I can't even eat that much. But he will make it, and I'll eat the whole entire thing.
Oh, good, that is right. Sweet. One of my screens turned off on one of the cameras, and I wanted to make sure it was still recording there.
Okay.
Because it's just recording the. What's funny is I'm
trying to hide my turkey neck. I'm gonna get my turkey neck taken out.
She's so freaking beautiful. She has the worst self-image of herself. She's like, I need to lose weight. I need to gain weight. I need to lose weight. I've got fat here. I've got fat there. I have no fat. It's always one extreme or the other. She's either too skinny or too fat.
I gotta keep myself up.
And she's always beautiful. So she can be as sick can be and have bags under her eyes for days, and she's still beautiful.
Well, that's love.
It's more than love. It's truth. There's people that see her. Gosh, she'll go visit her parents over in they're in one of those assisted living places. And she'll go over there, and the people will be talking to her and be like, oh, my gosh, how old are you? And tell them, that.
Yeah, like, thought I was someone's granddaughter and that I had started wearing makeup. And I said, I'm Kathy's daughter, and I'm 51. They're like, no, that's not right.
They always think she's, 20s,
no,
30s.
I probably look about 45.
I don't think so. I think you look like you're in your mid-late 30s. Might be 38, 39.
I need to go. I need to be like the girl, and this is 40. I'm 38, and that's all I am. That's
38
it.
forever.
Forever.
Yep. No. Very beautiful.
I don't
huge
care.
Heart.
I embrace it now.
Yep. She is she's humble to the point where she's doesn't realize how beautiful she is. I always have to argue with her. Well. It's been great. It's going to be awesome. Things are going to get better. And we hope you guys enjoy this. This is Chronicles of Broken Mind. I'm Lee.
I'm Haley. Like, subscribe, leave comments. Let us know what you like, what you didn't like. We'll answer your questions if there's any questions.
Yep. Ask away. You want to get in contact with us, leave a comment. We'll get in contact with you and let you know how to get in contact with us. You know anybody that's into sponsoring things like this? We're looking for sponsorships. All of it. This is what we want to do.
Yeah.
thank you, and till next time.